If we look at the muscles involved with breathing, the main one is the diaphragm, which is this sheet muscle that pulls down when you breathe in, pushing your belly out. When it relaxes again, it goes back up into a sort of parachute shape. So in abdominal breathing, the belly moves out on the in-breath, but there's also a sideways movement in the abdomen. You can feel it as a sideways spreading, especially in the lower back. Now remember I said that stressed breathing involves filling the lungs right up and then not letting the air all the way out, so that you breathe rapidly and shallowly in the upper chest. What can happen is that the diaphragm stays tight, as though it's bracing against some threat. It doesn't relax on the exhalation, which is why we don't let the air all the way out. When that happens, we're forced into a kind of lifting movement of the whole chest. If you look out for it, you can see it easily as an up and down movement of the shoulders and the upper chest. So the spiral can begin with a simple stressor that triggers an emotionally defensive response. That is, it causes a tightening up of the various muscles that are involved in breathing, leading to a shift towards chest-based breathing. That's part of the fight or flight response. The diaphragm in particular tightens up and doesn't really let go, meaning that you don't really let the breath out again. Remember, the diaphragm is this dome-shaped sheet muscle at the bottom of the chest. Now, earlier I mentioned that there's a brain circuit devoted to regulating breathing, and in fact regulating carbon dioxide balance. And it basically involves a small region of the brainstem, which is very much the automatic or non-volitional part of the brain, and this region monitors the current situation in terms of the carbon dioxide. It detects how much carbon dioxide is around in the brain. It's the equivalent of the thermostat in your central heating. And on the output side, it links to the diaphragm. And what it does, it turns up or down your ventilation by having the diaphragm move more or move less. But of course, if the diaphragm is all locked up with stress, then the regulatory mechanism is not going to work very well. So in short, if you're stuck in a chest breathing pattern, then you're much more likely to be an overbreather or to tip into overbreathing at times. Conversely, abdominal breathing, where the diaphragm fully releases, letting the breath go right the way out, is going to facilitate breathing chemistry regulation. So breathing chemistry is the primary consideration, and breathing mechanics is secondary, but still important because it has a bearing on the chemistry.